when did you start really like, you said you started doing stuff for clothes and started like kind of found yourself again in art a few years after graduating from high school. What at what point or like what happened where you were kind of like, all right, now I'm a professional artist, like this is what I'm doing for a living. What was kind of that like
Um, I
point for
think
you?
when I knew that I could do it for a living was when I was able to pay my car payment with the money that I was making from art. And I think I was like 24 years old and I was fucking driving around in a 7 Series BMW. It wasn't like a new one, but it was like still like kind of expensive and I was able to make the payments on it. And I was like, okay, like you can do this type shit. Like I was like,
Hmm.
all right, all right. And then but I think around 2014-ish is when I knew. But it was now that I think about it, bro, it sucked because I was doing a bunch of
I was
commissions.
about to ask, were you doing commissions, selling
Bro,
prints?
I was doing commissions on shit that I didn't want to draw, but like I needed the money to like make this payment and like all this other shit, like my rent. And like, dude, that was probably like one of the like my worst like times as an artist in the sense that I was doing all these commissions that I didn't want to do. But in hindsight, it gave me a lot of practice.
Hmm.
To even though I was drawing shit I didn't want to do, it forced me to like still make it good because it's like people are paying for it. So like that kind of forces you to learn shit. Like it gives you another motivator, right? Because you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for somebody else. And if you don't like it, especially, you still got to do a good job. So I picked up a lot of techniques, a lot of like coloring techniques, inking techniques while I was doing that whole commission shit. And it was cool because I was doing Periscope at the same time. Because Periscope was linked with Twitter back in the day.
Hmm.
So if you were streaming on Periscope, you could watch it on Twitter. You didn't even have to follow me on Periscope. And I was already working anyway, so I was like, fuck, I might as well stream this shit. And like it became like this thing where I had like a nice like a little group of people that would tune in every time and like we just became friends and like I'm drawing anyway, so I would like explain why I would do certain things and like, it became kind of like almost like a teaching thing in a weird way too. And like people would tune in to like kind of learn. Um but in that sense it was a cool time. But like as far as me like doing all the commissions, bro, it was probably like one of like the most sucky years of my art career. But it was one of those things where you kind of had to go through it, just to move on to the next.